The language you use about yourself when you're by yourself is what will make or break your self-esteem. When we talk to other people, when we post on Instagram, when we share our lives, we always want it to look good and be amazing and be so positive, right? Most people's Instagram stories are just all of these amazing highlights and how beautiful my perfect life is. And then you go home when you're by yourself and you look at yourself in the mirror and people, cry themselves to sleep. What's the message when you talk to yourself? What's the message when you're alone? What are you saying about yourself? When you can start to fix that self-talk, that inner dialogue, that starts to shift everything inside you to then create amazing things outside you. I remember when I first got started making YouTube videos, my self-talk was in conflict because I had my parents, who I remember the voice, there's a picture of my parents behind me on my wall in my office. And when people ask me, what's my favorite quote of all time? It's what my parents used to tell me, that I am Evan Carmichael. I could do anything that I believe that I can. And that is a constant reminder that I still today, at 41, still use, still tell myself, still remind myself of, like, I am Evan Carmichael. I could do anything that I believe that I can. And it's helpful and valuable, and what a gift. So grateful for my parents for that. When I was getting started on YouTube, though, the other voice that was in my head was, you're introverted, you're shy, you suck on camera, anybody who makes videos has a big ego, just needs to be famous. And so I really struggled with that because I had competing voices in my head. It wasn't even what other people were telling me to do. It was me, myself, when I'm by myself, thinking about myself. That constant inner struggle with the voices in my head left me struggling, left me making super slow progress, left me started and stop it and started and stop. And if you look at my videos, I started and then I took big breaks, and then I started again, then I took more big breaks. And it wasn't until I solved that inner conflict that I started to get more results, and I started to be more productive, and I started to stopping. I started to stop stopping. I stopped procrastinating. I just did it because I wasn't so caught up in my head and the discussion and the inner dialogue and the voices, and I just replaced it with better thinking about myself, better messages to myself. I think when you can do that, your life starts to change, because it's not other people's opinions that really shape us. It's other people's opinions that then influence our own self-talk, that's what shape us.
Need motivation?
Watch your top 10 with Believe Nation.
Top 10, I got a top 10. Got my motivation high for my top 10. Gotta learn from the wise women and men. All my life, like 9 and 9. For my top 10, top 10, 9 and 9. This one's for my top 10.
Hey, it's Nina Carmichael, and we made these videos. It's because you're probably the most ambitious person in your circle, but you're capable of more, and you need that push by surrounding yourself with the best. So today, let's learn from one of the best, my husband Evan Carmichael, and our take on his top 10 rules for success. Enjoy! Rule number 2, take responsibility.
You are where you are because of you. Because of the choices you've made. You are right now here stuck where you're stuck. It's not the government's fault. It's not the economy's fault. It's not the algorithm's fault. It's not your parents' fault. It's not even your fault. I'm not even here talking about placing blame. It's not about who we're gonna blame. It's about taking the responsibility to fix it. To say, I don't want to stay stuck here where I am right now. Things have to change. This is not my final destination. I'm going places. You're going places, and taking the responsibility to make that change happen, where too many people just get stuck up on the blame. Like, well, I'm here because of the economy, or because of the president, or because my parents, or because my education, or because whatever circumstances. And we use that as a valid excuse, a reason for why we won't take action. Well, it's not your fault. And because it's not your fault, we have somebody to blame, and so that means we can just stay stuck. And unfortunately, that's where most people are stuck. They're stuck being stuck. They're stuck placing blame. They're stuck because it's easy, because it's easier to just shut up the world and go dive into Netflix and entertain yourself as opposed to actually fixing the problem. When there are problems that show up in life, and that's gonna happen for everybody, the most common responses people have are 1, to blame somebody else because it's not your fault, and 2, to go dive into entertainment. As opposed to saying, I don't even care whose fault it is, but I'm gonna take responsibility for where I'm at, and I'm gonna invest in myself to flip from entertainment to education so that changes can start to happen. Because until you break that loop, until you break that cycle, you stay stuck. And it's comfortable. It's comfortable and it feels good to know that it's not our fault, but ultimately you're not happy. The short term, you're happy because you can just put the blame on somebody else, but long term, you're not happy. You're not happy because you never get the growth, you never get the progress, you never get your goals, you never accomplish your dreams, and you're stuck there knowing that you're capable of more. I went through this very recently on my YouTube channel. So one of the strategies that I've been helping some of my friends with, there's one guy in particular who has blown up on YouTube thanks to one key strategy that I gave him. And I told this to him maybe a year and a half ago, and he started applying it maybe 6 months ago, and you see channel popping off, growing faster than I'm growing off of my strategy. And I finally came to the realization, like, why am I not doing this for my own channels? I'm telling other people to do it. Most people never take action, but this guy actually took action on it, and he's crushing me now doing this stuff. Why are we not listening to our own advice? Like, why am I not doing the same thing on my channel yet? And it came down to, well, I'm worried about my team. I'm worried about how much extra work it is. I'm worried about, mostly about my team and like how we've done things in the past and changing things up. And I finally came to the realization that, no, this has to change, because if I can't make this work, then it's my fault. This is my fault. And my team's livelihood is my responsibility. And I need to be constantly growing and getting better. And if YouTube's algorithm changes, I need to be on top of it. And I need to be guiding my team in the right direction, because they rely on me for their career and for their impact. Now, could they go get another job? Of course. But hopefully they like working with me and the work that we're doing, and feel like they're valued and what they're creating is having an impact. And so me being afraid is not a good enough reason. And so it wasn't until I really owned that to say, this maybe took a couple months for really to sink in. Like, my own advice is being used for somebody to help them blow up, and we're not doing it because I'm afraid of the impact that it's gonna have on my team. And that can't be a good enough reason. That can't be a good enough reason, because ultimately I'm doing a disservice to my team, I'm doing a disservice to myself, and I'm doing a disservice to you. Because the more people who can see these videos, the more belief we spread in the world, the more impact we have, the more people's lives change, the more great companies are built. This is my mission. And so if I don't do it, then it's my fault. It's not YouTube for changing. It's not anybody on my team for resisting. It's me. It's my fault. And so when I finally accepted that, then you can move fast. Then I messaged some of the key people on my team and said, okay, here's what we need to start to do. And I understand there are problems with this, so let's fix the problems, because this has to happen. And now we're doing it, and now we're moving quickly, and hopefully we'll start to see the results. But it wasn't until I accepted the responsibility for it to say, I'm not going to stay stuck in this rut that we're in, that things start to change.
Rule number 3, switch your mindset.
You did not ask for this painful situation that you're going through right now. You did not ask for this health issue, for this work issue, for this environmental issue. You didn't ask for this thing to happen to you. This is where we struggle, because you didn't cause this. It's probably not your fault, right? Maybe it is your fault, but it's probably not your fault, this thing that's happened. There's a lot that happened to make this thing happen for you right now. And so it's so easy to get stuck in the land of negativity. Why me? Woe is me. Why did this happen? As opposed to flipping to say, it's the best. This thing that's happening to me right now, it's the best. When I broke my neck, I was on my tour, I broke my neck. What I said was, it's the best. It's the best. Is it actually good to break my neck? Probably not, but it's my chance to show myself what I'm capable of. I remember being woken up, so I passed out. I had a concussion. I fell on the floor. I woke up, like I fainted. I woke up, and I remember the hospital had sent their ambulance, and also fire people showed up. And my circulation was getting shut off. I couldn't feel my arms. I couldn't feel my legs. They're worried that I'm having a heart attack. And I remember going through this in my head as I'm explaining what's going on. They asked me if I was okay, and I said, I feel okay. But then I can't feel my arm. I can't feel my right arm. I can't feel my legs. I can't feel, and most people would be kind of freaking out at this point. Like, oh my God, I can't feel my arm. I can't feel my legs. And I'm calmly explaining that, oh, I can't feel my left hand right now. I can't feel my right hand right now. And just walking them through what's going on. And in my head, this is why it's so important. Whether this is actually true or not, in my head, what I'm telling myself is, this is the best. I am the greatest patient of all time. As people are normally freaking out in this moment, I'm calm. I'm explaining what's going on. I'm amazing, right? And I would never say that stuff out loud, but that's what the voice is inside my head, that this is the best. This is me. I'm amazing. Let's go. Let's solve this problem. And what it does is, when you're in that negative situation, it switches you to a place of possibility. If you are stuck in complaining and why everything is so bad and why this happened to me, all you're doing is perpetuating the negative situation. You're not actually solving anything. When you can flip it to say, this is the best. This is my chance to learn, to grow, to improve, to solve this, to show myself what I'm capable of. What it does is it puts you in a place of resourcefulness. It takes you from a place of helplessness into one of resourcefulness that then allows you to go off and solve the problem. That immediate thing that nobody asked for, that you would never wish upon your worst enemy, that's happened to you right now, it gives you the tools to actually come out of it. And so switching your mindset, telling yourself that it's the best, when you've got these moments of pain and struggle and suffering where you just want to blame the world and complain and tell everybody how negative it is, you flip it. It's the best. Practice those 3 words. Maybe you're facing that situation right now. Maybe you're dealing with something you hate right now, or something, if it's not right now, listen, I promise you something is coming. At some point, that negativity is coming for you. And so use that as inspiration. It's the best.
Rule number 4, chase your dream.
What do I do with my life? One of the most important questions that I get asked over and over and over and over again, people are struggling with. What do I do with my life? You see your parents doing something, you see your friends doing something, you know that that's not the life that you want, but you're afraid of actually chasing down your dreams. You see people living their life on Instagram and it's so beautiful and perfect, and you're worried that you're not gonna measure up, that you're not gonna live up to it, that if you try and do your thing, you're gonna fail. And so you're constantly stuck in this, what do I do with my life? Pull between the safe life that everybody around you is living and they want you to live for yourself, or the dream life that you know you're capable of, but you don't know quite what it looks like. What do I do with my life? Here's what I found. You're gonna have moments in your life where you have absolute clarity, and equally you'll have moments in your life where you have 0 clue what to do. Let's break those 2 down. When you have absolute clarity, when you know exactly what you want to do, when it feels right, when you have momentum, the best thing you can do is put your blinders on and go to work. The best thing you can do is shut down everything else and get to work building your dream. We often hedge. We often play small. We often don't put as much in because we're afraid. But when you have those moments of clarity, you have to go play a bigger game. You have to start betting on yourself. Right now, I look at my YouTube channels as an example. This is a pretty special moment in time. And things are very well aligned for me right now. I mean, been doing YouTube for 12 years, built up a lot of traction, have a lot of momentum, been helping a lot of my friends, made a lot of new friends as a result of the channel, got into rooms that otherwise I shouldn't be in because of the success of my channels. And it's been a lot of work. And the early years did not pay off very well at all. I share on my Instagram a lot of my traction. And, you know, first 5 years of the channel, we didn't even have 10,000 subscribers in the first 5 years. And then we went and hit, you know, next 5 years, 2 million subscribers, now passing 3 million subscribers on the main channel. But a lot of slow growth. But right now is a very special moment in time. Right now, I need to push harder on the YouTube channels. Right now, we've launched, I don't know how many channels, a lot of channels. We've got a dozen channels plus maybe at this point. I need to be pushing more on YouTube. This is a moment in time. The window here is so wide open that I need to jump through it, because at some point it will close. And I don't want to look back on this moment and say, I wish I pushed harder. I wish I wasn't afraid. I wish I did the thing that I knew was right. And we'll have it. You'll have those moments too in your life where you just see it so clearly. You have this vision. You see it all working out, but you're afraid to go actually take the action. You're afraid to go all in on it. You're afraid to do what is necessary. And then what ends up happening is regret. Because you'll be at the end of your life, or even 10 years later, thinking, I knew it. I saw it so clearly. There was this opportunity in front of me, and I wanted to do it, and I loved to do it, but I was too afraid, and somebody else went off and made millions of dollars off of my idea. Does that ever happen to you? Somebody made millions off of my idea. Well, no, they just went and took action when you were sitting being afraid. And so when you have those moments of clarity, you have to push everything else aside and go after that thing. Even though it's scary, even though it's too big, even though it feels beyond you, you have to go after that thing, because that's where your genius lies. And you either lean into your genius and go change the world, or you live the rest of your life with regret. You have to force it.
Also, to make sure you're actually taking action after watching this video, I've designed a special free worksheet just for this video. The worksheet will highlight all of the lessons learned in this video, as well as pull out our 3 favorite learnings and quotes that will inspire you to actually do something. The worksheet will also give you space to write down what your key takeaways are and your specific plan of action to make sure you're getting results. If you want the worksheet designed specifically for this video, absolutely for free, there's a link in the description below. Go click on it and start building the momentum in your life and your business. I'll see you there.
Rule number 5, evaluate yourself.
Where are you stuck right now? Is it your business? Is it your relationships? Is it your career? Where is it? Your mindset, your health habits? Like, where do you feel is the number one place that you're stuck right now in your life? Where are you stuck? Get really clear on that, because having that honest conversation with yourself really matters. That's how you can start to make the change. And the point of this is not to say that you suck and look at the disaster you made for yourself and I can't believe you're not doing better. This is not a negative self-talk exercise. This is we're gonna have an honest evaluation of where we are right now. This is you sitting down with you. You can look in the mirror, you can journal, you can go for a walk, whatever you need to do to have that conversation with yourself. But figure out what is the number one area that you feel stuck right now, that you don't want to be stuck in anymore. That if you're still stuck in the same spot that you are in right now, 1 year from today, you're going to be upset. You're going to be upset that you missed an opportunity, that you've wasted another year of your life. So where is that number one area that you feel stuck right now? Get some clarity on it. Maybe it comes right away. Maybe you got to digest it, but get some clarity on that, because that's the starting point to making some changes.
Rule number 6, make that small tweak.
The fact that you look at your calendar today, tomorrow, next week, and nothing excites you, okay, great. What can you shift? And it may require a wholesale change. It may require you doing some drastic thing, but more likely you could probably just do one small shift. Like, just start building momentum. Just start doing one little thing every day to start to train yourself, to start to just push the ball a little bit forward. Because often we think we have to make some giant change, and the only answer is to move to Mexico. And then it never happens, because to move to Mexico takes you however many months and budget and all this stuff. You get stuck in planning mode instead of doing. What's a small step? What's a small tweak that you can make to today's calendar to inject more energy into it? What's something that you're going to love doing that will give you more energy, that then now you have energy for other things as well, right? Some kind of immediate momentum.
Rule number 7, do what you love.
You can't be doing the stuff that you hate. You have to find a way out. It may not be today, it may not be right now, it may not be this week, but you have to find a way out. So if you're working for a boss that you hate, long term, you can't be doing that anymore. If you're in a business that you hate, and maybe you started the business and you hate it, long term, you can't be doing that anymore. You will never win doing work that you hate. People say, well, you have to do whatever it takes, but you won't. You won't do whatever it takes if you don't like the thing. And you're going up against people, you're competing against people who love the thing. They love it. And for you, it's just a strategy. And so the key is you have to leave the things that you don't love doing and lean in on the things that you do, and find a way to use the thing that you love to then bring value to other people, so you can have a real business, so you can go make an impact, so you can build the life that you deserve, that your family deserves, that the people around you deserve as well. So if you don't love it, and worse, if you hate it, you have to find a way out. And that may not be today. This is where people get caught up in the struggles. Like, well, I don't like it, but I have no other plan. Okay, well, we have to start working towards it so that a year from today, you're not in the same spot. But today, you have to go show up and kick butt on the thing that is causing all of these problems for you. So I look at my YouTube channels, for example. We've done over 10,000 videos, just crossed 3 million subscribers on the main channel. Woo! Thank you guys, appreciate you. I've been doing this for 12 years, April 2009. How do I keep going? How do I keep making videos? How do we crank out 10,000 videos plus? And how have I not burnt out? How have we not taken time off? Because I love it. Because this doesn't work for me. Because I look forward to this. Because I look at my filming day, which is Tuesday when I make these videos, and I'm excited to make more content to share with you guys, to hopefully, maybe this today is the video that finally sinks in for somebody. For somebody watching this video, whether it's true or not, the message I tell myself is somebody is gonna watch this video right here today, this one, and it's gonna be the light bulb moment for them. Not everybody, but for one person, that video, this one right now, is gonna be the light bulb moment for them that gives them the big unlock. And so I have to show up. I wanna show up. I'm excited to show up. I can't wait to show up. 12 years, keep making content, and as long as I love it, I'm gonna keep doing it. And so this is why, if you're trying to do YouTube just as a strategy, you're going up against people who love the thing. So you're always gonna lose. Meanwhile, there's something that you love doing, and that's where you need to be long-term.
Rule number 8, spend time with great people.
Who are the people who've done this thing? Who are the people who are great at this thing? Who are the people who you look up to, respect, admire? Maybe they're physical people, humans that you can touch and have coffee with and have a phone call and go meet and are in your life. Or maybe they're people you've never met yet, and you can learn from them on YouTube, on Instagram, on podcasts. But who are the people that are doing this thing? They're great at it. The thing that you're struggling with right now, they're world class at it. And you want to try to find some time to be around them more. You make it part of your daily ritual now to be around them more. If it's somebody who's in your circle, you're trying to have a regular call with them. That may be a daily call for a while. Maybe it's a weekly call. Maybe it's a monthly coffee, but you're trying to spend more time with them. And then you supplement with regular content. You start following the people on YouTube who make you feel more of that, who make you want to play a bigger game. You start following people on Instagram who lift you up, who make you feel the hope and possibility. With conscious intent, you're picking who you're surrounding yourself with and who you let into your life based off of goal number 1. So if goal number 1 is to have more belief in yourself, and the biggest problem you have is you don't have enough belief in yourself, great. You can definitely supplement with a lot of my content. I mean, at least that's the intent. With every video I make, I'm trying to inject more belief into people, into myself as well as other people. If your number 1 goal from step number 1 is you want to have better health, great. Who are the channels that you need to subscribe to make you feel, if you're watching people who are constantly living healthy, who are working out, who are doing the right diet, who are taking care of themselves, who value themselves, if you're constantly around that, they will lift you up. They will make you more healthy. Not just because of the strategies. The strategies alone aren't much. It's the environment, it's the mindset, it's the belief. By being around these people, they automatically pull you up. They automatically make you feel like it's possible. They automatically become a part of your daily, and they push you towards having the courage to do the thing that you want to do.
Rule number 9, have a reminder.
Have a reminder system in your life constantly. What are the things? Because you're feeling it right now. Hopefully, if you're watching, you're feeling it right now. You're feeling excited right now. You're going to make a change right now. And then tomorrow you're going to fall back to who you used to be. So what do you need in your environment? What do you need in your habits and your daily routines to remind you? You need a reminder system so it can become more automatic, that it doesn't rely on your self-will and your discipline constantly, that it gets introduced to you constantly, whether that's YouTube videos. Hey, Espresso, 5 days a week, every morning. I'm here. Let's go. Here's a new video for you. If it's Ed Milet's channel or Tony Robbins' channel or Oprah Winfrey's videos, like whoever, or if it's books or podcasts, if it's your physical environment, if it's morning intention, like just figure it out for yourself and schedule it in. Schedule in the reminders. Schedule in the intentionality so that this doesn't just become a one-off moment, but that it's a daily reminder. It's a daily consistency. It's daily momentum, because you need that. You make that change happen. You do those 3 things. You do the audit on your life. You take immediate action, and you schedule in that consistency. Your life changes. Your life changes. And then the concept of swimming forever or beyond the mountain is more mountains doesn't feel overwhelming, doesn't feel scary, doesn't feel impossible. It's invigorating. It's amazing. It's awesome. Because you're on a mission. If you've got a vision for a better world and for a better you, and now you're actually going to show up and make that happen.
Rule number 10, the last one before our very special bonus clip, give yourself exposure.
I don't know what to do next. All I know is I don't want to be doing what I'm doing right now. Did that ever happen to you? You know that you don't like your current life. You know that you don't like your current habits. You know that you don't like your current schedule, your routine, what you're doing, who you're hanging with. You know you don't like any of that stuff, but you don't know what to do to change it. Has that happened? If that's you right now, then your immediate goal is the exact opposite. It's not to go all in on one thing. It's to try many things, to give yourself a lot of exposure, to say yes to as many things as possible that are inside your code of ethics, right? Don't go steal something from a store because it's something new, right? That are inside your code of ethics. To taste, to test, to try, to explore, to find the thing that might be the next thing for you. And to lower the barrier for just getting started. So I went through this in my website. When I had my website, a lot of people don't know me from my website, because if you go to my website now, there's not that much there, but I used to have 100,000 plus pages of content on my website, and I was playing the SEO game and publishing tons of content, and we had a lot of the big name people in entrepreneurship creating content for our website, and I was selling ads off the site, and I realized at the beginning, I was all in. At the beginning, I loved it. I wanted to write. I wanted to bring on people. We had 5,000 people or so writing for the website. I loved it. I was all in. I saw this moment in time. I was going for it. And we quickly grew the website. But I found that as maybe year 3, year 4, I was starting to lose interest. Wasn't exciting anymore. And I didn't know what else to do inside the website to bring that energy back. So I started to taste, test, explore other things outside the website. And one of those experiments was YouTube. One of those tests was me starting my first YouTube channel. And I really sucked at it. You can go back and watch my old videos. It took me a long time to get half decent in front of the camera. I sucked at it. I had no natural inclination for it. I told myself, well, I'm an introvert and I'm shy, so I'm always gonna suck on camera. But I realized, I don't know, I liked it. I liked it. I liked doing it. I liked making visual content instead of written content because I'm a visual learner. I liked the idea that maybe there's somebody else out there who'll watch my video and be inspired by it, and that maybe makes a shift for them. I never expected to be YouTube famous because at the time, YouTube famous wasn't a thing. Nobody was YouTube famous, especially in education. Nobody was making long form educational videos. It just didn't exist. And so I thought, you know what? I'll just keep doing it because I love it. That if 50 people, 100 people watch this video, That's 50 to 100 people who watch the video. That's maybe a couple lives changed because of me being courageous enough at the time to press record and make a video. And so that kept me going. And eventually that turned it into something that then I shut down my website and I went all in on YouTube. And so when you don't know what to do, you need to get out of your typical routine. Go for a walk. Go drive somewhere you've never been before. Take an extra long shower. Like, do the things that help get you creative ideas. And then whatever comes, whether it's start a YouTube channel, start a podcast, start writing a book, start singing a song, whatever ideas come to you, they will probably sound crazy. For someone like me, it would be crazy to have a YouTube channel. For someone who doesn't like being in front of the camera, who doesn't like seeing himself, who thought that people who filmed themselves had to have a huge ego and be chasing fame, and I didn't want that. For someone like that, I would have never said, never, that I would have 100,000 subscribers, let alone 3 million plus. Never, I would have never thought that was possible.
Now I've got a special bonus clip that I think you're gonna enjoy, but before that, it's time for the question of the day. I wanna know, what was your single biggest takeaway from this video and your plan of action for the next week? When you watch a video and just get motivated, the science says you have a 35% chance of actually following through on your goals. That's not good enough. No, not for you, Believe Nation. We gotta do something. But when you write it down and you create a specific plan of action for the next week, that number jumps to 91% chance of you following through. And when you commit to somebody else, like leaving a comment on this video, it jumps to 95%. You need to follow through on your goals. So what was your single biggest takeaway from this video and your specific plan of action for the next week? Put it down in the comments below so I can celebrate you. Your brain does not want you to hit your dreams. Your brain is designed to keep you small, to keep you safe, to keep you protected. Your heart wants to create amazing things. Your heart has big dreams. Your heart sees a beautiful world and says, I want to go make something better. And then you wake up the next day and your brain takes over and says, you can't do that. That's too risky. That's too dangerous. Stay small, stay safe. You didn't go to school for that. And what ends up happening is this constant back and forth between your heart and your brain when you're getting these motivated moments when you want to do amazing things, and then your brain takes over again and keeps you small. And this is the path that so many entrepreneurs go on, this roller coaster ride of up and down and up and down and up and down and up and down. Sound familiar? It's time to get off the roller coaster and start making progress on your dreams. Today's video, I'm going to show you how. So yesterday I got asked on my live stream, Evan, what's the most important part of your daily routine? And so many people have so many different daily routines, and it's easy to do the things like drink a glass of water in the morning, go outside and get some sunlight, and all of these things. But the most important thing for me is actually having my intention for the day. I've actually been experimenting with writing it out the day before. So this is what I wrote last night, of basically my entire schedule. And then more than just what I'm gonna do, it's how I want to feel. What's my intention going into it? So if I look at this, I'm supposed to be recording espresso videos right now, right? That was on my list. 10:30 a.m., record espresso videos. It's right there. And here, get a head start even though you don't want to. Recording videos at the beginning is always difficult for me. There's a couple of reasons why. I'm shy, I'm introverted, I don't crave the spotlight, I don't like being in front of the camera. I don't do it for ego purposes. And also I'm afraid because I want it to be great. I want this video to be the next best video. I don't want to disappoint people. My number one fear is gonna be that I'll disappoint somebody. And so every time you make something, you risk disappointing somebody, where it's easier just to stay small, stay safe, don't make anything today. And so it's on my list, the to-do, right? I think a lot of you, if you're watching this video, you probably have a list of to-dos. But how many of you are actually doing the things on your list of to-dos? The hardest part often is just getting started. Already, as I started recording this video, it's a lot easier to keep going and recording more videos. This is the first one that I'm recording today. And so having that written down, get a head start, even though you don't want to, reminds me of who I want to be. And what I find so valuable about this is I write this the night before. So the night before, it's 11 o'clock at night. I usually sit on the floor and I review my calendar for the next day and I write out what I'm going to be doing. And I've added, how do I want to feel? What's my reminder to myself before stepping into that task? Imagine you're being your own high performance coach, sitting there telling yourself how you want to feel. Remember your intention before starting that next task. And I knew, okay, Evan, this is what you always do. Before you make a video, there's a little bit of procrastination, there's a little bit of fear, there's a little bit of slowness, there's a little bit of, not laziness, but there's a little bit of just apprehension before you get started. Why? Because you don't want to start, because you're afraid, because you don't want to disappoint people. So I write down that message again. Get a head start, even though you don't want to. The fastest way to accomplish anything is to model someone who has already had the same success that you are after. You can go around trying to figure out everything by yourself, trying to come up with every new idea yourself, and you will slowly make progress towards your ideas. But until you recognize that success leaves clues, that whatever the thing is that you're trying to accomplish has already been solved by thousands and thousands of people, that all you need to do is model their success, until you realize that, you're gonna constantly stay struggling, making slow progress, knowing that you're capable of more. So I first learned the power of modeling success with my first business, where I was struggling. I was 19, 20, not making any money, $300 a month, low confidence, filled with self-doubt, not getting results. You know, I turned down high-paying jobs to do this thing and own 30% of a company that seemed to be going nowhere. And I told my partner that I quit. And the thing that saved me when I hit my lowest point was, I am not the first person to try to solve this problem before. Maybe my specific scenario, yes. Biotech software, you know, from Toronto, who's done that before? Nobody. But a software company getting to $1 million, somebody's done that before. How about I just look at their success and try to emulate it? And so the only person I could think of off the top of my head was Bill Gates. So I looked at Bill Gates and how he got started, and it was through partnerships, and I applied that lesson to my business, and in a short amount of time had my first deal for $13,500. I felt like a rich man. You know, I felt like, holy cow. And to go from $300 a month and saying I quit to now having a deal in place for $13.5K, and more important, the strategy that I could use again and again was life-changing for me. All because I modeled success. And that was, again, when I was 19, 20. So now what have I done for the past 20 years is just model success. What is my YouTube channel about? What is this video about? Modeling success. Why have these people behind me? It's not for you, it's for me. I want to model success. They're constantly pulling me up to a greater spot. Whatever problem you have has been solved. Not exactly the specific minutia, but by modeling Bill Gates, it took me 80% of the way. You still have to figure out that final 20%, but most people are trying to figure out the whole 100. That's the problem. I was struggling when I was trying to figure out the whole 100 all by myself. I just coming up with new ideas, new ways, new innovation, but nothing worked. All you have to do is figure out that last 20%. And so look to your heroes, look to potential mentors, whether you know them in person or not. They've done it before. They can teach you. Success leaves clues. You don't have to go through this alone, and you can ramp up your success really quickly. How you think about the problem is the problem. Most people are locked into losing thinking, finding all the reasons why you won't win. If you're the ant, think about how you can kill the elephant. If you're the elephant, think about how you can kill the ant. The problem is not the problem. How you think about the problem is the problem. So I used to think that introverts couldn't win. I used to think that to be a good speaker, to have a YouTube channel, to be an entrepreneur, that introverts can't win. And for the longest time, I hid behind the faces on my website. So before even starting YouTube, I started on my website. It was called evancarmichael.com. I didn't have a better name at the time. And I profiled different successful entrepreneurs. Basically what I do on YouTube, but on my website, because I wanted to share the stories. Modeling success saved my business, and I wanted to make it easier for other people to be able to get success on their own as well. So learn who's done it, apply those strategies, make it work for you, and let's go. And so I always hid behind the faces. I remember my first banner, I had Howard Hughes, a big Howard Hughes, Oprah Winfrey, and a couple other people. And people kept asking me, well, where's Evan Carmichael? You know, the website's off your name, you're putting this together, what's your story? And I thought, well, who cares about my story? I mean, sure, I built and sold my first business, but it's nothing compared to Howard Hughes and Oprah Winfrey, these people who've done great things. And it kept coming up over and over and over again. Translate that to my YouTube channel, Evan Carmichael was still the #1 requested top 10. And when I first started doing top 10s, we did Kanye West, shout out to Kanye there on the wall, and then a bunch of other people kept asking for mine. I'm like, well, what do you want mine? I mean, again, what have I done compared to Kanye West? And I always hid behind the fact that I was an introvert. And so I don't want to share my story. Nobody's interested. I'm shy. I'm the wallflower. I don't go off and try to make myself the center of attention. I don't like, hanging out with people. And so I had this story that introverts can't win. It wasn't until I reframed it and thought, you know what? Introverts can win in communications because we're better listeners. I'm a great listener. As much as you might think I love talking and making these videos and seeing the speeches that I do, what I love doing more than that is listening. And I think that's how you win as an introvert, because it's not about you just sharing, talk, look at me. You're trying to help. And I've met some amazing introverts who are on a huge mission and want to have a big impact and have to fight with themselves to get out of their comfort zone and have the spotlight on them instead of just being behind the scenes. But they're all great listeners. They become great communicators because they're great listeners. And so the problem wasn't that I'm an introvert. The problem is how I thought about the problem of being an introvert.
Why do you get depressed after you accomplish a goal? You celebrate a goal for 5 minutes and then you're sad. Why is that? It's because you had the wrong goal. Your goal should not be to climb to the top of the mountain because the only spot left is to go down. Your goal should be to climb forever. You never stop climbing. You're on a mission. You're trying to save the world. Stop asking, when can I stop? You don't. You don't want to. You want to climb forever. You don't want to stop. Not now, not ever, because you are on a mission. So one of my biggest fears is the aging rock star. I look at some of these rock stars who made it big when they're in their 20s or 30s, and then as they get into their 40s, 50s, sometimes even 60s, they're still playing, which is great. They're still on tour, which is awesome. But what are the songs that they're singing? The songs that they're singing are still the ones that they came up with when they're in their 20s or 30s. And I can't imagine that. I can't imagine coming up with a video in my 20s. Was I on YouTube in my 20s? I was 10 years ago, right? April 2009. I was on 9? Wow, I'm getting old. April 2009. Yes, April 2009. So I was 29 when my first video went up. Great. If I'm still showing that video all the time, if I'm still showing my 40th video, then that's the one that hit. I just feel like it's such a letdown. I mean, it's great that you're still on tour. It's great that you're still being asked to get on stage, but to sing the same songs over and over and over again, for me, I'm not trying to judge or say that they suck. For me, I'm terrified of that. I don't want that to be me. I don't want to think of the video that I made last year is my best video ever, and all I'm gonna do for the rest of my life is just play that same video over and over and over and over again. I want to climb forever. I want to challenge myself to come up with new stories each time, whenever possible, making these kind of videos. I want to always push the envelope. I want to always discover new formats. I want to always look at splitting up my channel or bringing them all back together or launching a course. Always something new. Always climbing. I don't see it as this mountaintop. There is no mountaintop. You're on the staircase and you're climbing forever and you're never going to get to the top. You don't want to get to the top. That's sadness. That's despair. When you've accomplished everything there is to accomplish, you hate your life. That sucks. You celebrate. This is what happens for high achievers, right? You celebrate for 5 minutes, like, man, we did it. And then it's a big letdown. When I crossed 2 million subscribers on my YouTube channel, 1 million subscribers, I didn't want to celebrate. Like, because the day-to-day is a celebration. Because this is celebration. This, making this video right here. This is my celebration moment. The process, the actual part of climbing, right? I'm trying to get better every single time. 6,000 videos later, still going. When do I stop? I don't. I want to make 6 million videos, right? My goal of hitting 1 billion entrepreneurs, I don't actually want to hit 1 billion entrepreneurs. I want to have a goal so big that I never do it. And so I don't want to be that aging rock star. I hope that when I'm 95 years old, I may, not have my mind totally there. My body might be giving up on me, but I'm hoping that I'm still trying to push the envelope, still trying to do more, do my best. And maybe if I get lazy, complacent, slow, if I start complaining, you catch me complaining when I'm 95 years old, show me this video back. Show me this video and say, look, you've become what you said you didn't want to become, right? Hold me accountable. I think as soon as you stop growing, you're dying. And I think that's why so many people are unhappy, because they've actually stopped growing a long time ago. And so don't be the aging rock star. I don't want it for me. I don't want it for you either. You are staying small because you're afraid. You're afraid of the worst case scenario coming true, losing, having no money, and being embarrassed. But you know you're capable of more. You know the way that you're going about doing things right now is nothing compared to what you're capable of. Unless you lose that scarcity mindset, you're always gonna stay small, knowing that you are capable of more. Today I'm gonna show you how. So one of the easiest ways to get out of your scarcity mindset is to go from idea to action. As soon as you get an idea, you do something about it. And sometimes often that idea is gonna be too big, too scary, too crazy. You can't do it. Who are you to do this? You don't have the money, resources, time, connections, energy, right? All of that, all of the excuses that come into your head. I like to teach myself that as soon as I get an idea, I go do something. It may not work, but you have genius ideas, trust them, go do something. Most people either have no idea who they are and what they want, or they do, but they don't have the courage and confidence to chase it down. If you don't know who you are and what you want, then that needs to be your immediate priority. That's the single most important exercise that you can do right now. If you know what you want, but you're not chasing after it, having more confidence in who you are will give you the courage to chase it down. Either way, I'm gonna give you the answers in this video. So when I first started making videos, I sucked. You can go back, you can watch the first one. It was April 2009, over 10 years ago. I sucked, I was nervous, I was shy, I was trying to memorize lines, I was sitting down, I was in a suit, I was sweating. I sucked, it was brutal. And making videos isn't a logical choice for someone like me. I was introverted, I still am. I was afraid of being in front of the camera. I'm looking into the lens and the red light went on and I went blank. I was trying to memorize my lines just on paper. If you saw me and you said what I was good at and then put me in a situation where I'm making videos, said, don't do that, that's not for you. Here's the thing, I liked it. I wasn't good at it, but I liked it. And when you like something, with enough effort, enough practice, most things, you can be great at it. Now I'm still on my journey. I still have a long way to go. There's still people I look up to, guys like Gary, who are crushing it and say, I still have my journey to get better on, but I'm a lot better than I was when I started. And now I'm off doing keynote speeches and I'm getting flown out and getting paid to speak in front of audiences. And I'm growing a channel with 2 million subscribers and then these sub channels on top of them. It's crazy because I was doing a thing that on paper, I wasn't supposed to be good at, but I just loved it. And that's where the self-awareness piece comes in. Because you will get an idea to go off and try something, but you'll judge the idea and you'll say, I can't do this because I don't have X and Y and Z and I'm not good enough and tall enough and smart enough or whatever enough, right? I'm not enough. And then you play small for life and you have uncertainty and you're walking on quicksand and you end up being pulled into making somebody else's dreams come true instead of you actually chasing your own version of your life down. Because you're thinking about all the reasons why you're not gonna win instead of the 8 why you will. So take it from me, a guy who's introverted, afraid of the camera, shy, doesn't like talking to people. If I can get here, so can you on your dreams. I feel like I'm always spending time with myself. I'm always talking to myself. I'm always reminding myself of how awesome I am, of the ideas that I have are great and I need to start acting on them. I'm very aware of my thoughts, my feelings, my emotions, and whenever it's not feeling right, I switch, and I'll switch on a dime. As soon as this YouTube channel stops feeling worth it, not fun anymore, wrong energy, I'm out, and I'll just leave it behind. I move on and go do something else. I think the same thing of meditation. I haven't been able to maintain and find value in a meditation practice because I think there's two sides of meditation, and I've only recently learned the difference. The first is about focus and presence. I'm always focused, I'm almost always focused in presence. I'm 85% in the moment focused and 15% thinking about the future and 0% thinking backwards. Somebody asked me that question, how much time do you spend past, present, future in your day-to-day? Like 0 about the past. That's why I have a poor memory. Mark Drager says I have a poor memory. I just don't live in the past. So I don't remember most things because they don't matter to me. they don't apply to me. I'm not thinking about, even when you ask me how old I am, I have to think about the year. Who cares? I was born in 1980, May 20th, 1980. How is that relevant? Because you want to compare your journey to mine, that I've come this far at 39 and you made it this far at 24 or 54 or whatever. I don't know. I just don't think that way. I think 0 going backwards. And then most of the time is present and a little bit future forward thinking. Whenever I'm feeling stuck, I'll spend more time with myself. If I feel like I need to go for a walk, I'll go for a walk. It's just paying attention to feelings. Another conversation I get into with Mark constantly is, I don't remember what I said, but I remember how I felt. And that's mostly where I live, just in the lands of feelings and constantly talking to myself. The reason why you are not chasing your big dream is because you're afraid that it's going to fail. You're afraid that it's not gonna work, and what people will say about you and what you will think about yourself. But what's the alternative? It's sitting on your idea for years, never taking your shot because you're afraid, and living the rest of your life in regret, knowing that you had an opportunity, but were too afraid to take it. The way to not have regrets is to be always taking action. To, as soon as you get an idea, go do something about it. I had a great podcast with my friend Mark Drager a couple weeks ago, a month ago or so, where he was asking me about regret. And I used to always tell this story of, imagine you have a hangnail and how much that hurts, and it's all you can think about when you have a hangnail. But if somebody punches you in the arm, you don't feel the hangnail anymore because this hurts more, right? You focus on what hurts more, and suddenly this one doesn't hurt as much. That's how I would use regret. I would always think about whatever pain that I'm in right now, this thing that I want to do, but I'm afraid. I would imagine that this thing is going to be the best thing of all time, that this video I'm going to make, this speech I'm going to give, this client I'm going to meet is going to be the best of all time. And if I don't do it, I'm going to regret it for the rest of my life. For decades, I'm going to regret not taking action. And so the pain of doing the thing is the hangnail, and the future pain of regret for decades is the punch to the arm. And so it inflicts so much pain on me that then I have to go off and do that thing. And I use that for over a decade. Over a decade. That's the lens through which I made decisions and saw the world. But for the past 2 years, I haven't done that at all. I haven't talked about it. I haven't done it for myself because I talk about the things that I live. And I'm thinking, why? Why don't I do that anymore? Why don't I use future regret to fuel me? And I found that's because I'm always taking action. Because as soon as I get an idea, I do something. And so I don't judge the idea. I don't say, why me? I don't ponder on the idea. I don't just default to strategizing and thinking. I don't think, why did I come up with this? Why am I thinking about this? I just do it. You get an idea, you go off and do it. And that's been my mindset for the past year and a half, 2 years. And as a result, the breakthrough was, you don't live with regret. If you're always taking action on the ideas that you have, you don't live with regret. You might regret some of the things that you end up doing, but most of the things that you regret are not the things done, it's the actions undone. Not taken. The action's not taken. You don't regret the things that you did, you regret the things that you didn't do. That's most people, right? There may be a couple things that you regret that you did, but for the most part, it's the things that you are too afraid to do that you regret for the rest of your life. And so if you're constantly doing, if you're constantly taking action, if you're always jumping, then you don't have regrets. And it's been an interesting way that I now see the world, and hopefully you can learn from. As soon as you get an idea, you go off and you do something. You do that, you won't have any regrets. Everything that you want out of life is on the other side of your biggest fears. You want something more. You know you're capable of something more. You'll come up with a great reason why you can't do that something more, but really, you're just afraid. If you want a breakthrough, if you want that dream life, you need to change the way you think about fear, or it will handicap you for the rest of your life. So my biggest fear is disappointing people. I'm afraid that whatever I'm gonna do, I might disappoint somebody, and that keeps me playing small. And so whenever I can recognize it, then I have to go all in and do it just to show myself, because it allows you to play on a bigger stage every time. And that big fear you have, it's still there, it doesn't go away. You're just capable of slaying a bigger dragon each time. So what used to count as disappointing people, or my fear of disappointing people, might have been going to a coffee meeting and helping an entrepreneur. I remember one time super clearly that I was booking a meeting with an entrepreneur, and I was so worried that I was going to disappoint her that I was hoping that she would cancel. And the story I told myself was, I'm too busy, I got all this stuff to do. You know, the realistic reasons that you can convince yourself, right? They weren't stupid reasons, they were realistic. But deep down was, I'm just afraid. I'm afraid that she's going to show up and I'm not going to give her value. It's a deep fear. And then once I went to go meet her, it was amazing. I remember sitting in my car and saying, wow, like an hour and a half ago, I was hoping that she was going to cancel on me, and this is the greatest thing of all time, right? Your biggest fears prevent you from living the life that you want. Most of the time you can't catch it. I think we play small by default. I think your greatest fear owns you and is giving you tons of logical reasons why you can't do that thing. But whenever you catch it, whenever you do actually catch and say, I think this is just my fear talking, that means it's go time. That means you have to do it just to teach yourself that you're able to conquer it and move to a greater level of success. Making money is about solving problems. That's the core of business. Someone has a problem, you see a solution, they pay you to solve it. If you're not making money, it's because you haven't solved a big enough problem yet. So let's use my YouTube channels as an example. Now we got so many YouTube channels, it's crazy. I saw a problem. I saw a need, right? I wanted visual content. I wanted to learn from successful entrepreneurs, and I wanted it done in a visual way. I used to read books a lot because books was the only way that I was able to get this information. I didn't have mentors to teach me about business, right? I had my parents who were amazing, who taught me how to be a human, but I didn't have any face-to-face mentors that I can go to, so I went to books. But I'm a visual learner. I'd much rather see it. I get a lot more by seeing Simon talk about a message than by reading his book. I just do. It's how I learn. And I think a lot of people are visual learners. And so it's why I started my YouTube channel. I started showcasing successful stories. I started sharing my story as well in the process. And it's been that duality from the beginning of saying, here's what you can learn from successful people, and here's my message as well. So DJ plus thought leader mixed together, and here we go. And we've had success because it solves the problem. Because a lot of you have the same problem. My problem is your problem. You want more success around you. You want to be surrounded by these people just like I did. And instead of you having to watch 40 hours of Simon Sinek content to find the best and mush it together, I do it for you. I actually didn't want to even have a YouTube channel. I didn't want to do this. I wish you did this. If one of you did this, I would just subscribe. Be great, be free. Here we go, amazing. It didn't exist. It wasn't out there. So I did it. And that's the process. You could scratch your own itch. You can see what problems other people have. But success in business comes from solving other people's problems. You subscribe to this channel because you like the content, because hopefully like the content. It adds value to your life. It solves a problem. It sets you up for the day. That's why I have this morning espresso series. It's 5 times a week, Monday to Friday, set you up for the day, give you this shot of energy, motivation plus ideas to help you go off and build your business. This is the problem that I solve. What's the big problem that you solve? The trick to getting yourself into action mode is to trigger yourself for success. Triggering yourself for success means you've taken the decision making out of it, that as soon as you come up with an idea, you have trained yourself by default into action mode. You see, your brain will always talk you down from things because it's trying to keep you safe, and it only understands a world that currently exists that is logical and practical. Until you learn to trigger yourself for success, you will constantly doubt your thoughts, your ideas, and your actions. This video is gonna help. So today, I wanna talk about this bag right here. A lot of you leave comments, the newer fans of the channel say, why is Doritos sponsoring your videos? Evan, why don't you have a healthier sponsor? Don't you know what bad Doritos does to your body? You should be promoting healthy living. Doritos is not a sponsor, guys. This is triggering me for success every single day. And this isn't just some tiny bag. It looks small looking back here, but let me bring this up. Look at that. This is right next to my face. Look at how big that bag of Doritos is. I have a strategy, and it's a weird strategy, so maybe you'll love it, maybe you won't, but I have a strategy called Damn the Doritos. I look at this bag. So I'm sitting, this is how I'm working, right? I'm not sitting, I'm standing. I'm standing on a trampoline. This is my workspace right now, right? I'm standing here, I'm working. In the corner of my eye, I got Steve Jobs up here, and I got this giant bag of Doritos. All I want to do is eat this bag all day long. I want to destroy this bag of Doritos. Look at that giant chip. Oh, I'm going to start drooling soon. I love it. I want to eat that all day long. This bag is here as a reminder of how great I am. This is the mental conversation inside my head. Evan, you're awesome. You're awesome for not eating those Doritos every day. And I want it as a reminder. People say, doesn't it take a lot of willpower? No, builds, for me at least, builds the willpower, builds my strength. Every time I see that bag of Doritos, makes me feel better about myself that I'm not eating it and I have the strength to keep going. And so why I have that here is when you're on a diet, right? This is how it began. When you're on a diet, your friends, your family, the experts will say, get rid of all the junk food from your house, get rid of it all, because otherwise you'll be tempted and then you're gonna eat it and then you're gonna ruin your diet. I think that is actually teaching yourself that you suck. You're teaching yourself, I'm a weird duck, you're teaching yourself that you are not strong enough to be around the thing, and so I need to get it out of my environment. The only way that I can stick to this thing is if this other stuff is nowhere close to me. I think you're telling yourself that you suck. I think it's a big crutch. And just like when you break your leg, you have a crutch, your ultimate goal is to not have a crutch. It's to walk, it's to run, it's to be stronger than before, right? And so as a step one, maybe it's good, right? As a step one, okay, fine. You broke your leg, you have a crutch. You wanna get on a diet, you're addicted to junk food, get out of the house, awesome. But as soon as you go on vacation, as soon as you go to an office party, as soon as you go to New Year's, any kind of party, you're gonna destroy the food because you've trained yourself every day that you suck, that you're not capable. I think you're a genius. I think you're stronger than you think. And so I tested it first with myself and I thought, you know what? Doritos are my nemesis, right? I love Doritos. Oh my gosh, just looking at that bag. So I went to Costco and bought the giant size bag of Doritos. I said, I'm gonna put this on my desk all day long. Because damn the Doritos, because the Doritos are stronger than me? I don't think so, right? I'm Evan Carmichael. And same thing for you. That thing that is holding you, that's stronger than you? I don't think so. Remember who you are. Remember how strong you are. And that's what this is here for. And it's been awesome to see people now take this up. A friend of the channel, Liron, was trying to get off of sugar. And he has this coffee cup with a saucer and he drinks his morning coffee. And he put 2 packets of sugar on the saucer right next to the coffee. So he pours his coffee, has the sugar right next to it, and he just starts drinking it and puts it down and looks at the sugar packs and then just drinks the coffee again and puts it down, looks at the sugar packs, and his wife thinks he's crazy. And he's a little crazy too. You gotta be a little bit weird duck, but I think this is actually how you build your strength. Mark Drager, another friend of the channel, is addicted to the Peak Friends cookies. You know, the ones that have the red on the inside and the cream in the middle. Those are among my favorites too. And so his COO, when he heard this, went out and bought all these boxes of Peak Friends and put it on Mark's desk. And he opened it up. And this is one of my favorite things to do. Whenever I'm around Doritos or something I really love to eat, not just say, oh, put that away from me. Don't be around me. I can't have that. And not just look at it. I want to smell it. So Mark took these cookies, brought it right up here. Peak Friend cookies, right up here. Oh, and you can just see the joy on his face just as he's bringing back memories and just what those cookies are gonna taste like when they enter his stomach, and just goodness everywhere, right? The smile on his face, maybe a little bit of drool coming out, you just, and then put the cookies down and walk away. And how great that makes you feel as a human to say, here's one of my biggest weaknesses of all time. Bring it. I own you. Put it down and walk away, right? I think that's how you actually build strength, by doing those difficult things, by triggering yourself for success. Every time I see the Doritos bag, I feel better about myself, I feel stronger about myself, and I want you to do the same thing. If any of you are gonna take on that kind of challenge, I wanna hear you, I wanna follow you, I wanna see how your journey is going, because it can be one of the biggest, most important life-changing decisions that you embark on. Most people focus on the problem instead of the solution, and that is why they fail. I like to say that there are a million reasons why your ideas will never work out, and only 8 why they will. Either way, you're right. So it's better to focus on the 8. Your heroes, the people that you look up to, the people that you love and want to be like, right? Your heroes all succeeded with less than what you currently have right now. If they can all do it, so can you. The only thing in your way are your excuses. So one of the things that I love most about both my wife and my team is that they're always willing to find a way. One of the things that Nina loves most about herself, I had her fill out this form maybe 2 years ago of like, what do you love most about yourself? And at the top was, she's a fast learner. She loves learning new things. She loves taking on new challenges. And I love that. I love that about her. And I love that in people. I think you should be a fast learner. I think you should love learning. I think you should always be taking on new opportunities. Right now on my YouTube channel, I've split up my channel into 8 or 9 different channels. And then just recently I split them up again, where we launched a top 10 channel just for the top 10 videos. So the top 10 videos aren't on my main channel anymore. And then we're doing an everything channel, where if you just want all the content, it's all on one spot. So it's chaos, it's crazy. My whole team has to be restructured, and everybody's taking on new projects and responsibilities. And we were supposed to have a 1-month transition phase to do it. That was the recommendation. That was the aggressive recommendation, is to have a 1-month transition period. And for me, 1 month just is death. It's just death. I mean, I said, oh, okay, great, 1 month. But then as I'm into it, on the Tuesday of like the first week, like, guys, we need to launch like this weekend. We need to launch this weekend. Let's go, right? And there's so many reasons why it's not going to work, and there's so many problems, and yes, we're going to make so many mistakes, and people aren't trained properly, and there's more work, and we need to, we figure out who wants to do what and how. So many issues. Awesome. Let's go. I think about Ray, for example, on my team, who has been doing all these thumbnails. So I have a set design for my top 10 rules thumbnails that people love, and it's been going like that for years. And I've always been on my team to say, I don't care that everybody thinks our thumbnails are great. They can be better. How do we make them better? And so finally, after years of testing, we finally found the format that would win, that would beat our original thumbnails. And there's minor differences. We zoom in on the face, we got rid of the second logo, we make the text bigger, minor differences. And then Ray's been going back and updating split tests, doing against our old videos. And we have 1,400 different split tests on our videos. It's crazy. I think I split test more than anybody on YouTube. So he's going back and updating all the old thumbnails and trying to prove a winner each time. And he's maybe, I don't know, halfway through. Think about it, how many videos we have on the channel. We've got 6,000 videos. A lot of them are top 10s. Now with this change, I found a new format. We found a new format, a new thumbnail, different color scheme, different text, different pictures, different logo, new thumbnail format, and we found that it's working. And so I said, Ray, I know you just changed all the thumbnails. We gotta do it again. He's like, this is so exciting, let's go. Like, I love this guy so much, right? Where most people, what are they're gonna complain. They're gonna say, I just did all this work on this other thing, right? You don't wanna be around people like that, and you definitely don't wanna be that. For too many people, the problem is, for so many people, that's you. That's not even people around you, that's you. You're thinking about all the sunk costs that you put into something. You're thinking about, I invested so much into this thing, and now you want me to shift everything? Yep. You need to be on the yep side now. You need to adopt that kind of mindset, that kind of personality. That just because I worked before, it doesn't mean it's gonna keep working. You find something new, it's better. Let's go. This is what the whole game is about. The number one biggest thing that you are missing is momentum. You're a genius. You've got Michael Jordan level talent. You are the best in the world at something. But until you match your effort to your capabilities, your dreams will never happen. So yesterday I had a young preacher reach out to me on Instagram. Young, like early teenager, reach out to me on Instagram and say, hey Evan, I'm a preacher. I'm trying to get my career going. I want to make YouTube videos. I want to spread a message. Can you watch my video and give me some feedback? And first off, I love young entrepreneurs who are going after it, who are not just sitting there making excuses as to why they can't because they don't come from the family, they don't have the right education, they don't have the right gear to make a video. And here's this guy, just takes out his phone against a simple background, poor lighting, it doesn't matter, right? Just takes out his phone, starts recording the video, and he's pretty good, right? For a kid who's 14, 15, 16 years old, he's pretty good. He's way better than I was. He's way better than I was when I started making videos at, I don't know when I started making videos, 10 years ago. How old am I now? 39, 29. He's better at 14, 15, 16 than I was at 29. That's amazing, I love it. But here's the thing, he was only making a video once a week. And so I said, I love it, man, but you gotta match your actions to your ambitions. You gotta keep going. If you wanna be the greatest preacher on the planet, you gotta make more content. One, to practice, right? If you're a thought leader, if you're an expert, if what you are creating comes from here and you just speak it out, you need to be making a video every day. Every day. If you can freestyle as an artist, as a rapper, you should be making a video every single day. Now, if your videos require some massive setup, not because it's about the quality of your thought, but it's about fancy stunts or something that requires a lot more, fine. But if it's thought leadership, if it's content that's just coming out of your head, right? The quality of your ideas every single day. Once you get better, The more you do it, the better you're gonna get. It took me 350 videos until I wasn't completely embarrassed by my own content, right? I couldn't watch it back because I was too embarrassed. But oh, so bad. Now as I watch my videos, it's funny, whenever Nina comes in and she's seeing me watch my videos, I always have this big grin on my face, like I'm cheering myself on, like yeah, that's really good. And there's definitely still tons of room to improve, but it took me 350 videos before I wasn't completely embarrassed. And now I'm 6,000 or something videos in. It's hard to keep track. Your actions have to map to your ambitions. So if that's you, if you've got ideas, you've got knowledge, stop coming up with excuses and make the content, film it and post today and again tomorrow and again the next day and again the next day. And when you're creating so much content, one, again, you're getting better because the quantity leads to the quality, but two, you get less attached to one video having to be the thing. So often you make one piece of content, one painting, one song, one video, you make it, and then that has to be the thing. You're getting feedback and you're destroyed if it doesn't take off. If this video doesn't take off, great. Next, right? Next. Keep going, keep creating. You need momentum. So your actions have to map to your ambitions, right? Whatever idea you have in your head, you want to be the next Oprah of whatever industry, great. Let's see it. Let's see it in the work. Let's see it in the energy. Let's see it in the output that you are creating every single day. Albert Einstein once wrote, "Everybody is a genius, but if you judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree, it will live its whole life believing that it is stupid." That's why awareness is so important. If you're not happy, if you're not fulfilled, if you don't feel like you're making progress, it's because you're a fish trying to climb a tree instead of where you should be, which is swimming. And if you don't figure that out, and soon, you're gonna live your whole life believing that you're stupid when you are a genius. One of my favorite stories as I was trying to launch my YouTube channel was I was trying to learn from different people. I was trying to take in input, learn from the experts. I didn't know what I was doing. I was a scared, shy introvert, afraid of being in front of the camera, afraid of putting videos up. And so I needed help and I asked for help. And there was one guy in particular who was giving me a lot of feedback and help and improving my channel. And then I wanted to take it in a different direction. The advice he gave me was amazing. It was helpful. I was seeing results. And then I wanted to make a video around believe. I just figured out what my one word was. I found believe. I wanted to make a video about believe, and he didn't like it. I put it together, it was 6 minutes long, and he told me no video on the internet should be 6 minutes long. You don't understand how the internet works. Nobody's gonna watch this video. And it was really heartbreaking because this was a mentor of mine. This was somebody who was giving me feedback and advice, and it was working. And so he's telling me that this new thing I was doing was wrong, it would never work, that I don't understand how the internet works. And I didn't know what to do. And I think a younger version of me would have said, okay, well, something must be wrong. This guy has experience, he's in the industry. He wasn't just some random person on the street. He had been making videos his whole career. He's had successes before. A younger Evan would have said, okay, I guess it's wrong. I should fix it. I should do something else. But because of me finding my one word, having that self-awareness and feeling like I loved it, like I liked this video. Sure, it was 6.5 minutes, but I liked it. And at the time, now in context, this video is gonna be longer than 6.5 minutes, but at the time, most videos weren't very long on YouTube. It was a different era when I was starting off. And I said, you know what, I don't care, I'm gonna post it. It's about belief, I love it, I'm proud of this. If nobody else watches it, at least I took my shot and I put it up. And that video became my best video on the channel. At the time, my best video was 100,000 views in a year. That was my Chris Gardner story. And I was so proud of that video, put so much work in, and when you hit 100,000, you're like, oh, so many people saw this video, it's crazy. And it took a year to get there. And then this video within the first month already crossed 100,000 views.
If you like this video, I'm sure you will like another top 10 of Evan Carmichael. Watch the video next to me. I think you're gonna enjoy. Continue to believe. I will see you there.
You don't need money to make money. You need your energy, you need your resourcefulness. As soon as you focus on resources as being the problem,